Thank you, Count Corla, and I'm sharing my time with Deputy Scanlon, Moynihan, Murphy O'Mahony, McSherry, O'Loughlin and Troy, and I'm taking 6 with 2 minutes each after that. Fianna Fáil welcomes and supports this motion. Fine Gael has overseen a crisis that is marked by homelessness reaching unprecedented levels, surging rents at historic heights, home building numbers are tens of thousands behind where they need to be, and some 130,000 people are in need of a permanent social home. All the while, another massive problem is emerging that the government completely ignored. Ordinary working families cannot afford a place to own or rent. Fianna Fáil forced through some significant progress in Budget 2019, but the key now is delivery. The government has to start delivering on housing. After 6 separate plans and over a dozen launches, it needs to just put bricks and mortar into the ground. While other parties grandstand about motions and bills that will not build a single additional home, we've worked on delivering changes in Budget 2019 and will continue to hold the government to account. There is no silver bullet solution to the housing crisis. Fianna Fáil's support this Labour Party motion shows that we will work with constructive solutions from all parties. The Labour motion reflects their thoughtful and considered approach to housing solution, which stands in contrast to the showboating and anger management by others who just provide headlines and not homes. The Labour motion calls for the establishment of a housing development bank, increasing Part 5 to 20%, credit union investment in social housing and protection for tenants and, indeed, small landlords. Fianna Fáil has worked on many of these proposals and is willing to continue to help progress them. Labour's motion echoes closely with Fianna Fáil's policy solutions. They reflect the need that the Irish state, the Irish government, has a common good responsibility to ensure homes for all Irish people. The state must become the key actor in housing delivery in the Republic of Ireland. The recent ERSI report setting out high amount of money being spent on rent alone has been clear to everyone in the rental sector for the past several years. All the while, the increase in homelessness to over 10,000 is a fundamental failure of policy. This failure of policy is becoming increasingly clear lines in Fine Gael's reluctance to change the state's role in housing policy. It is clear that Fine Gael believes the private market will sort out things eventually. This is not the case. Our housing crisis is unbelievably getting worse, and after 8.5 years of Fine Gael government, this is simply just not good enough. With rent levels at such highs, and a whole generation cannot save enough to own a home, while vulnerable households are put at risk of homelessness. Home ownership is slipping away from an entire generation as house prices rise by 13% per annum, while the wages gap rise by only 2.5%. The 68% home ownership rate is the lowest since 1971. In my own county of Wicklow, house prices in the majority of the county are out of reach of thousands of hard-working families. Just only last week, a constituency wrote of her despair that Wicklow is out of reach of even within the rental sector. And I'll quote an extract from Fiona's email to me. My husband and I were married in August and found a beautiful rental apartment to call home. For 8 months we have been completely happy. I work in Bray and my husband in Carlow, so Rathdrum is the perfect halfway point. Most unfortunately, the place we live in has been sold and we've 6 weeks to vacate. We are rather urgently seeking somewhere to live. Our price range is only between €800 and €900, which is low at the current market rate of inflation, but we are still trying every possible avenue. We've asked around locally and we've been in touch with every estate agent and auctioneer in the Wicklow area. We are growing desperate with every passing day. We have trouble sleeping, eating, and have become prone to panic attacks since we received the news. We just don't have the income to afford the staggering rents being charged. This woman and her partner both work and commute, and yet may have to move into separate parental homes because this government cannot get on top of the housing crisis. Fianna Fáil has shown its commitment to finding meaningful solutions through our role in the confidence and supply, and has not shirked away from leading criticism of the government where it is at fault. The people of Ireland demand that the government listens and acts, not spins and controls news cycles. Delivery is not happening. The crisis is getting worse. I've stated time and time again that the members in this House will work proactively and energetically to deliver solutions that step up to the task. Yet the scale of delivery and indeed the response to our genuine support has been very poor. When working families are moving into parents' houses because they cannot even afford to rent a home in Rathdrum, the centre of Wicklow, then Minister, your policies are failing and failing badly. Thank you, Councillor.